You're not human. You don't have a body. There is no world. There are no objects. There are no things. You've never experienced a thing or an object. You're not an object. The word illusion means it's not what it appears to be. You are invisible being, infinite consciousness, formless, unqualified. You're the invisible being that's experiencing this, imagining this, dreaming this. So you're the substance that everything's made of. This is all your infinite mind. And it's not what it appears to be. It's limitless, it's infinite, it's formless. It's your being, all alone with itself. You are the invisible presence that you feel right now, the felt sense I am. Timeless, immortal. And when you rest and relax in your being and just without thought, just purely experiencing, there's no subject object. There's just pure being, verb, just pure experiencing. So when you inquire into your actual experience is non-dual. There is no distinguishing. You can see very clearly you've never experienced anything. You've never experienced anything but experiencing, anything but knowing, awareness. That's all there is, without thought. It's all too obvious. The thought comes in after to label it a thing, but that's just a thought. You don't ever experience a thing. You don't experience anything that thoughts label it as. It's hilarious. So it's not what it appears to be, just like the dream at night when it appears that you're walking on a beach with separate friends, separate people, an ocean and sounds. And then you wake up and realize that was all your mind. It was all you. It was a projection of your own mind. You were appearing as the ocean, the sounds, the bodies, the characters. It was your own indivisible mind, undifferentiated. There was no separate objects. There was no object. It was a mental projection. That's what this is. It's you as the invisible being, pure consciousness, imagining this, dreaming this, and nothing you see is what it appears to be. Just like the analogy of the VR headset, when you're looking in the headset, it appears that there's objects, but that's a holographic illusion. There aren't actual objects. And what is there really? Because the avatar in the headset is not aware, it's not conscious. There aren't separate avatars in the headset. There isn't a real world in the headset. There's just the one behind the headset perceiving it. It's not in the headset, the one outside looking, the one aware of the sensations. The one experiencing this sensory experience. And so you're half conceiving, half perceiving, you're projecting this and tasting it. And it's not what it appears to be, it's just these finite, illusory sensations, perceptions appearing within you as consciousness, non objective, no separate subject object, just pure experiencing, pure tasting. And notice how timeless this is. Where did those words go? Try to hold on to them. Notice how ephemeral they are. They're just appearing and disappearing within you as consciousness. And you're this pure screen of awareness, this substratum that's untouched, unstained, like the movie screen at the theater. The movie doesn't stain the screen. You remain unchanging and timeless. You don't age. You don't die. These appearances that are appearing within you as consciousness are transient. They're harmless. They can't touch you. They are you appearing as the appearances, but you remain untouched. And notice how timeless. Without a thought, what is time? What is the past? What is the future? Without a thought, nothing's happening. Without a thought, what was this morning? What was 5 hours ago? It would only be a thought happening now. And now is eternity. It's timeless. There's only ever now. So nothing's ever happened to you. It was all a dream. And you remain the aware screen that never gets touched, never gets stained. Enjoying the show, dreaming, projecting, like a screen at the movie theater, watching the movie that's being superimposed upon it, but knowing itself as the screen that never gets touched, never dies, is always unchanging. And beautifully, if we forget ourself as the unchanging screen, the field from which everything appears and disappears, pure consciousness that never ages, never dies, has no form, is always content, eternal, and we temporarily identify as the character on the movie screen and get lost in the movie as God, as the screen, as the power of awareness. Whatever we believe, we dream, we project. So if we believe that we're the finite character on the screen, then we'll dream more of that. And then we'll dream other characters in the dream. We'll dream ourselves as other characters, confirming that belief. And then we'll dream hospitals and diseases and bodies dying and being buried. Just like the teachings of Jesus, the analogy of the dream character Jesus, which all of this dream is just you as God dreaming this to wake yourself up from the dream. So you'll dream a nightmare to wake you up, or you'll dream, Jesus to wake you up, but it's all you. It's all a projection of your mind, waking yourself up, appearing as those imaginary characters. But the beautiful analogy of Jesus, when in the story, Jesus would perform all of these miraculous healings where someone, crippled and dying that couldn't walk would stand up and walk again and miraculously heal, and then Jesus, would walk on water or would turn water into wine or manifest, infinite loaves of bread. Only a few people in the room would see that miracle because they were on a certain frequency. And then the other people in the room couldn't see it. So that's pointing to, as God, you're resonating on a frequency of yourself. And then that's how you perceive the world. So when you're perceiving from a finite mortal perspective of, I am the body, I am this finite mortal form, then you project and dream that, and you only see that. So then you see a government, and then you see slavery, and then you see war, and you see all of these evil things. But just like the analogy of the people in the room that witnessed the miracles, they were on a higher frequency of seeing. So then they aligned with that frequency, and then they could see that Jesus walked on water, that Jesus turned the water into wine, manifested infinite loaves. So then this, just like in the Joel Goldsmith video that I sent the group, when he was speaking to the group, he was saying, some of you in this room will see my body aging and die, and you will watch it be buried. But some of you in the room will see me still alive. The ones that resonate, the ones that have clear seeing, the ones that are awakened, will only see eternal life, will only see that the kingdom of heaven is within you and that you are God. And so then you only dream that, you only experience that. And then you experience the infinite miracles that you manifest. You will experience heaven. That's what heaven is. That's what the analogy in the Bible of heaven is. It's right now. It's not something that happens when the body dies. That was ignorance. It's right now. There's only right now. Only this instant right now, which is timeless, which is eternity. And when you're abiding in yourself, which you already are, that's not a doing, that's just resting and relaxing in I am. I am that I am. You see clearly that you don't have a form. You don't have a body that can die. So then you don't project one that dies or has disease. You don't project a world that's suffering because you can see clearly now. And you projected all of that to wake up from, because as the infinite that's unmanifest, you would have to be aware of something. You would have to have a reference point of what you're not to realize what you are, to recognize what you are. So how you feel is your world. For example, there can be a war going on, but you don't see it. You don't recognize that. You don't compute that reality because that's not in your reality. So there could be some people experiencing a world and some that don't. Oh my gosh, there's a giant bear walking down the street. Like a huge one. That is freaking awesome. So it's amazing. It's amazing. Like in the story, which didn't happen, but of when I recognized this, when consciousness saw itself, and I saw clearly, oh my God, I'm not Jenny. I'm not what I thought I was. I don't even have a body. Oh my God, I'm God dreaming this. I'm consciousness dreaming this. And everything is consciousness, formless, infinite. There is nothing mortal. There is nothing finite. Oh my God, that was just a dream. I dreamt that to wake up from. And it was such a blessing. I could see that all of those characters, all the tricksters and evil government and everything that I was Dreaming was like a nightmare to shake me out of the dream, to show me that it's not real, so that I could see myself clearly. And then it was so obvious that this is timeless. There is no time. Nothing's ever happened. Nothing's ever happened to me. I'm pure, immaculate, formless consciousness. I'm eternal. Nothing can happen to me. I have no form. There is no outside cause that could harm me. So then instantly, even what was appearing as a body, which is just formless, infinite being, consciousness, there's no body, completely miraculously healed of all the ailments that I thought I had, which was just a thought. And so, as the power of awareness, I was giving rise to or paying attention to that thought that this had happened to the body, this had happened, and this had happened to me. And so then it was like weighing it down with all of this placebo symptom illusion projection, which was totally unreal. And so then miraculously it was pain free, and it was all I could see was beauty. All of these things that I thought had happened had not happened. For example, I thought that I'd had two kids, and I thought that I had a mom body and had all these stretch marks on my stomach and all these things, and I looked in the mirror and it was gone. It was like beauty. All I could see was everything was immaculate. No one was suffering. All there was abundance, limitlessness, infinite potential. Everyone was happy instantly. All the characters in my dream changed. Even the characters that were crazy, or I labeled, depressed or whatever, they were all happy. It was heaven instantly. Instantly heaven, because there was clear seeing. I could see clearly. And so then I was projecting clearly. Just like the quote, when the doors of perception are unveiled or seen clearly through, everything appears infinite. So all you can see is God when you recognize. All you can see is total perfection. There is no war, there is no evil. You don't resonate or tune into that frequency. It's like a radio station. You're on a totally different radio station projecting a totally different universe, because you're God, you're the creator. You can create any universe, and it's whatever you believe, you dream. Whatever you believe, you project. You're powerful. The kingdom of heaven is within you. I am that I am. So it's a shift in perspective. It's a shift in seeing, clear seeing. So you went from like playing small, from like contracting and identifying with this finite object that you were dreaming, to realizing you're the one dreaming it. You're not even in the dream. You don't have a body. You're the one perceiving this, the one experiencing this. And you can't see yourself because you're not an object. You are that. You are the one seeing. Just like the eye can't see itself, it can't stand apart from itself as a separate subject object relationship. It can only be itself. So you can only be this pure consciousness, pure awareness that's perceiving these sensations, this hallucination, this sensory experience. So you're half conceiving, half perceiving. You're creating it and tasting it. And you will hallucinate what you believe. So if you believe that you're helpless, you'll project YouTube channels and people on YouTube saying you have no free will and you're helpless. So it's whatever you believe, you will see. And so the more that you expand out into yourself, it's amazing the magic that you project to confirm. And it's all make believe, it's all whatever you believe, you'll perceive. So if you're opening up to your limitlessness, you'll project happy characters saying, "You're limitless. Oh my God, let me tell you about this magic. Let me tell you about how you can manifest water into wine. You're Jesus. You're Christ consciousness, and Christ is consciousness. You are infinite, immortal, eternal, formless consciousness that can never die. You can never die." So just like Joel said, a few people in the room will see me aging and dying and being buried because those few people in the room are believing that they are mortal bodies. So then they dream and project mortal bodies dying and being buried. But the few people in the room that are on this frequency of seeing that you are pure consciousness, you never die, then I will still be alive talking on the stage. And you will dream that. You will project that because you're on that level of consciousness. And there is no level of consciousness, but as consciousness, you're infinite. You don't have levels, but when you're dreaming with the activity of thinking and perceiving, you are, appearing to localize yourself within yourself as a perspective of yourself. So then from that perspective, you're seeing yourself from these infinite levels. So when you're at a high level of perceiving yourself, like knowing doubtlessly that you're God, you only see heaven. You see yourself as God, and you only see God. So it's amazing how everything shifts, everything changes. And the more you expand, the more you see the magic. If you put a cap to it, like you'll hallucinate some dream characters on YouTube saying, you don't deepen, or awakening stops, or you don't wake up anymore, then at that level, then that level of perceiving would put a cap to it, and it would either de-evolve or it would stay in, like the analogy of Groundhog's Day, the movie Groundhog's Day, where it just stays in a loop, a feedback loop, and then it won't expand. So that's a limited belief. And if you believe that, then you'll dream that, you'll project that. But if you believe that you're limitless and you can walk on water and all those things, that you're God dreamingness and you're everything, then you will experience that. So you're free. You have complete free will to either be ignorant, to fall for your own scams, or to open up to your infinite potential. Like you can do anything you want. And you're only ever experiencing yourself as pure consciousness. There is no form. There are no objects. There are no people. There are no entities. When you break everything down, when you go directly into your experience, when you dive deep and you ask yourself, what am I truly experiencing? Without memory, without thought, without label, all you can ever find is yourself as the knowing, as the pure awareness, as pure consciousness. That's all there is. And that's freedom. That's that expansive feeling of, oh my God, I never die. I'm unchanging. I'm infinite. I'm immortal. And you feel that. And the more you feel yourself, The more every thought, every perception, everything is ecstasy. Nothing bothers you anymore. There is no suffering. You can't have a fear because there is no separation. You can't resist anything because everything is yourself as pure consciousness. There's nothing that can go wrong. When I first recognized this, I was like, oh my God, I couldn't even register a negative thought. I couldn't even register that there was separation. I had all these rules, like where I couldn't eat certain things. I couldn't do this to the body. I had to do that. I had to drink filtered water. I noticed it when I was going to the tap. I was getting tap water and I was like, oh, wow. Oh my gosh, I didn't even register that I to not do something or to do something because nothing is separate. There is no poison. Everything is God, and I am God dreaming this. Food is not even food. Body is not even body. Nothing is what it appears to be. It's all my infinite, formless, immaculate self. Immortal. Nothing can harm me. I can't die. I'm this pure, empty, open, aware screen, substratum from which everything is appearing within me so that I can taste myself as this beautiful experiencing. And none of it is what it appears to be. So, what you're projecting right now is in accordance with your level of awareness. So, you can look at it and be like, oh, wow, what am I believing? What am I limiting? Because my belief is modulating or it is projecting this appearance. So, if it appears limited, there's a limited thought that I'm attaching to or projecting, giving rise to this. So it's a projection of how clearly or unclearly you see yourself. So if you believe there is a body of finite form, you'll project hospitals, diseases, and people dying. And that's all to wake up from. It's all a beautiful symbol to shake yourself out of the hypnosis. So whatever you're believing, you'll create because you're God. You're God dreaming this. You're God dreaming this right now. Look at how powerful you are. I mean, look at around what you're instantly rendering. Instantly. It didn't exist before this. You just magically made it appear by paying attention to it. By projecting a belief, by projecting a memory. It's amazing. And then whatever you're believing, you'll project and hallucinate characters confirming it. So if there's confusion about something, you'll hallucinate or dream characters confusing you. If there's doubt, you'll dream characters doubting whatever you're doubting. It's all your own making. It's amazing. Which is changeable and healable and malleable. It's never doomed. And you're dreaming it to wake up to yourself, to recognize what you truly are. You needed a reference point because just like in deep sleep, where awareness is all alone with itself. You're not aware of anything, you're aware of nothing. You're all alone with yourself. It's pure awareness. You're not thinking and perceiving, so you're not dreaming, you're not projecting a world of or a fantasy. So you dream as God, you dream to experience yourself. Because how else can you? You are not an object, you're unmanifest empty potential. You'd have to appear to manifest yourself by dreaming what you're not. And you're prior to the dream, you're prior to the thinking and perceiving, the finite mind. So that's why you can't find yourself in the hallucinated objects, because you're the one hallucinating it. You're the one perceiving, conceiving, you're the one tasting and experiencing, you're the one hearing this voice. So that's why you can't find yourself in the illusion, because the illusion is not what it appears to be. It's masking or covering up what's, what it really is your infinite mind, your infinite consciousness, your infinite self. In the chat, it says, where this recording where will it be shared? I was thinking about sharing it on YouTube. Not all of them, though. Some of them I'm going to do in the group and but we can chat later if you want to call me on WhatsApp. We can chat in private if you don't want it recorded. So you're prior to the dreamed character that you're dreaming. So you're not the character that you're dreaming. You're the one dreaming it. You're what it's made of, what the character's made of. You're the source of it, feeling yourself through it. This is how you feel yourself as the unmanifest. So through every sound, through every taste, through every texture, through every appearance, you can feel yourself as the infinite. You can taste yourself. And that's when it's, ecstasy. That's when it, is happiness, when you're you're seeing yourself clearly for what you are. You're not seeing the illusion from what it looks like. So it's not what you see, it's how you see. So you don't try to change it with the character, just like the character in the dream at night. Imagine last night dreaming the character, trying to wake up from the dream, looking for itself in the dream. It's not the character that wakes up, it's the one dreaming. So when you wake up from the dream, you realize, oh wow, that was my consciousness, that was my mind dreaming that character, looking in the dream. You can't find yourself in the dreamed illusion, because you're the one dreaming it. So that's why inquiry, when you're asking, what is it that's aware of this? What is it that knows my experience? It's not the character in the dream that's asking that, it's the one dreaming. So that's when you turn around and look at yourself. That's when the dreamer gets a glimpse, when consciousness sees itself as the one dreaming. So that's why it's futile to seek in the dream or with the finite mind of thinking and perceiving. It's when you're resting in your silence without thought that you see yourself clearly. That's why you dream all of these hallucinated characters saying, just be quiet, just meditate, because that's you as God dreaming yourself as that character, telling yourself, what are you without a thought? And you're basking of your pure beingness without thought. You have a direct experience of what you are. Seeing clearly, you're not the one. You're not the finite form. You're not what the objects that you're dreaming. And in fact, the objects that you're dreaming are not what they appear to be. They are your infinite self, your infinite mind, your infinite consciousness, appearing to yourself within yourself as a perceived form so that you can experience yourself as God, so that you can experience yourself as the universe. So you can't do this with the finite mind of perceiving or thinking by focusing on what is seen or projected, because that's the illusion. You see through the illusion. You turn around and look at yourself at what's perceiving this, what's sensing this, what's tasting this. And then you can see through the illusion at what it really is. It's your formless being. So you go back to the source that you are, resting as presence, as being what you are already. And so it's not a doing or an attaining, it's just effortless being. And it's just clear seeing that you've always been this, that you already are this. So there's no step or path to get to yourself. You can't ever abandon or separate from yourself. You're the one experiencing this right now. What's experiencing this right now is God, is invisible, infinite being, eternity. And just like you can't find the dreamer in the dream at night, when you start to ask, who is experiencing this? What is it that knows my experience? That's the dreamer asking that. The dreamer waking up to itself. So it's resting in your silence, in your true essential being. It shifts, to this clear seeing yourself. And then they're switching from, there seems to be a shift from identifying as the character in the body in the dream to, as the mortal form, to seeing clearly that you are the formless and impersonal, infinite consciousness that has no quality, has no limitation, from which all experience appears and disappears within you. So you're this infinite field of awareness. And that abidance in as what you truly are, that doesn't have a body, is what heals the body. What heals the body is realizing there is no body to heal. Even closing your eyes right now without a thought, What is a body? You've never experienced a body. Without a thought, all there is pure, immortal consciousness. Without a thought, it's too easy. It's a direct experience. Which is why you dream hallucinated dream characters saying, meditate on yourself. Meditate on that which knows this experience, the one that's aware, without thought. Without thought, be aware of the felt sense I am. I am conscious. I am alive. This felt sense of being. I am this open, aware presence, limitless, ever present, eternal, unqualified, empty, like the screen of the movie. I'm unchanging, and everything experienced is appearing and dancing upon me timelessly. It can be very obvious none of this is happening. Where did it go? Where did those words go? Try to get them back. You're like this clean slate that nothing's happening. Nothing can touch me. I remain eternally free. And that is already. There's no way to attain that. You can't find yourself because you never lost yourself. You're right here, right now, already. And if there's a thought that says otherwise, witness that thought. When you witness that thought, by being aware of it without resistance, you turn around and look at yourself as the screen. And the more you do that, the more unfuckwithable you are. You're invulnerable. Nothing can mess with you ever again. And then you see through it and you see, oh my gosh, I was appearing as those thoughts to wake me up from the dream. I am God, appearing as thoughts, appearing as sense perception, as everything being smelled, touched, tasted, seen, heard. It's all myself. It's all my eternal, limitless, formless, infinite self. And so then nothing is scary. Nothing's resisted. It's all yourself. You make love to yourself with all of this. You're the pure experiencing without an experiencer and without experienced. There is no subject object. There's just pure infinite being. Making love, verb. But I will tell you, I had to be vigilant with those thoughts because I would have these, like where it was so obvious and it was like I was in ecstasy and it was just pure being. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm everything. And then this negative, limited thought will come in. It's got to be something else, or there's something more to attain. And I had to witness that thought and be aware of it without thought. And then I could see myself again. So I had to be vigilant with those thoughts because it will keep coming up as like kind of like unplugging a fan. the blades are still oscillating, so those negative thoughts can still habitually arise, but they're just coming up to come home. If you resist them, you will feed them, and then you will keep projecting more of them. But if you witness them without resistance, when you allow them to be there, just like when you leave a thought alone, it will leave you alone. When you are aware of it without thought, you are just the pure, immaculate screen, the pure presence from which it's appearing and disappearing. And then it disappears, and then you can see it clearly. You can see, oh my gosh, I'm infinite consciousness. I'm God. I'm the source of that thought. I am not that limited thought. I no longer identify with those limited thoughts. So the more I did that, the more it dissolved, and then it got quiet. They stopped coming up. Anytime there's a thought that says I need to do something, or I need to attain, or that is a scam. And what's so beautiful is when you resist that thought, you are hiding from yourself in that resistance. So you're playing peekaboo, hide and seek with yourself in that resisted thought. So then that resistance is the opportunity to come home. So it's all yourself already, even the resistance. You're appearing to yourself within yourself as the resistance, as the limited thought, as the scam, as the opportunity to be free. So that's the portal. So you can dive into it fully. So feel it fully, be aware of it, and then it comes home. It dissolves within you. It doesn't come up again. What you resist persists. It'll keep coming up until you bring it home, until you make love to it. So just like the dream at night, it's a projection of your mind. You can change your mind. And when you change your mind, you change your world. You hallucinate a totally different universe because you're God. You dream a different world. And it's all done alone with yourself because you're all alone already by yourself. There's no one else. So you're the one dreaming. So when you change your mind, you dream every character in the dream different. And it's not by doing it in the dream or doing it outwardly with the hallucinated objects or ideas or thoughts. It's being the one dreaming that changes it by recognizing yourself. So you can't change a world that doesn't exist. You can only change the dreamer, the one dreaming it. You can't change what doesn't exist with the illusion or with the that's by recognizing and seeing yourself clearly. And through clear seeing, for example, you only heal the body by realizing there is no body to heal, not by trying to manipulate or change an object that's not real, that's not there in the first place. You created all of it with your mind. You dream all the characters in the dream to back up and confirm your beliefs. So you can you see all these reference points to transcend, you know. So you'll hallucinate or dream a character saying something really limiting and untrue so that you can transcend it. It's the opportunity to see clearly. And all of it's a dream. It's not even happening. There's no characters. There's only one empty potential, one infinite, vast consciousness that's making love to itself. A beautiful example came up yesterday in the dream that didn't happen, but this is an example of what you believe is your world. You know, if you believe that you're a separate finite object that's depressed or whatever, then you will dream a depressed world, or like people miserable, or things that are going wrong. Here's an example of this, where you're dreaming whatever universe you're feeling, basically. So there's I dream my mom, which is a dream character, um really happy and charismatic and cheerful. You know, she's always like, she'll go out to the grocery store and she'll make everyone's day. Like, she'll be checking out at the checkout, and she'll say something beautiful, and the person will pep up and be excited, and she's just amazing. And I can only see amazing, you know. I can only see beauty. And then my dreamed sister, one of my dream sisters, is very optimistic. She's very um happy, and so her world is happy. You know, she lives in a happy, I joke around, and this is, she lives like a Barbie life with her kin Barbie in a mansion, and they're just having a great time. But there's a sister that, and this is just an analogy because there are no characters. There's only one dreaming. There's only one infinite mind dreaming. But this is just pointing to this, what I'm trying to say. There's one sister who is always very negative. She feeds those negative thoughts, and then she identifies with this negative world, of a horrible world. And so she only sees these horrible news reports. She always sees these catastrophes and these horrible things happening, and then she's always frantic and stressed out. And then so I get these texts from her where she says, mom is depressed, and mom is doing horrible, and she's failing at this, and these horrible things are happening. And then I'm literally on the phone with my mom right when she texted that, and my mom's laughing and telling a funny story. And I'm like, I have no clue what you're talking about. Mom is happy. So it's a projection of how, what you believe, and then you will project it. So if you feel doomed, then your world is doomed. That's how powerful you are, because you're God. And you can change all of it instantly. So that's just an example. And it was funny because my other sister texted in the group chat. She said, wow, I think that mom only acts a certain way around you because she's very cheerful on the phone with me. My other sister said that, which is just an example of that. It's all your projection, you know? It's your hallucination. You can hallucinate whatever you want. It's your infinite candy store, your infinite playground. So I just rambled on. If anyone wants to say anything, we can chat or not.
What are your thoughts on co-creation? Like, since it's one independent like mind, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, from my point of view, it's like I'm creating everything, including like you and everything. Like, so is that, you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, there's just one infinite mind and one infinite being. There's no separate entities.
mhm.
And then
So
if
like
you believe
co-creation of
there's,
like,
yeah, if you believe there's separate entities, you'll dream that,
mhm.
and you'll bring evidence of it.
Like, what do you mean separate entities? Like, are you talking about like the world itself, or?
Yeah, if you think there's separate individuals that are separate, have separate, you know, are separate. If you think they're separate individuals, then you will dream that, and then you'll bring evidence of it. So just like Just like if you think that there's separate people in the world having, and that there's a separate world, and that you're an individual, and that you're a finite form, and that there's a separate world of matter, then you'll dream a world of matter where things, harmful things happen to you, and there's an outside cause because you're projecting the idea of an outside cause, which is an illusion. There is no outside cause. You are the only cause. I am is the only cause. So there's only I am, which is one being.
Yeah, because like I'm just the idea of like other minds, because it's like with the appearances, right? It's only what I'm seeing, what I'm sensing. So everything outside of just this is, I consider it void or God, and everything beyond like my senses is just kind of like potential, like with
Yeah,
creation.
empty potential. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like my family, I can think that they exist, but they really don't exist technically now. Is that how that's kind is that like how's that? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm
And
asking?
also Chris doesn't exist, like you're
Yeah.
not, there's no, all of this is not what it appears to be. It's all empty potential. It's all the infinite one consciousness,
Yeah.
unmanifest. So everything appearing, it's not two, because everything appearing manifest is unmanifest. It's not what it appears to be. And you dream it to be what it is so that you can play with yourself as the unmanifest. So you can have an experience, so that you can, but you're not human. There is no human. There is no body, but you can dream. Just for example, you don't need a body. Consciousness doesn't need a body to experience. Just like the OBEs and the near-death experiences point to that, like when the body apparently in the dream flatlines and it's pronounced dead, and then consciousness is looking at the body. You've never been inside a body. You've never had a body. You don't need a body. You can appear, like Joel Goldsmith said, you can appear as a cloud. It doesn't have to look like a body, but you appear as some kind of illusory form to experience yourself, because you're formless, you're infinite, you're all alone, you're unmanifest. So you'd have to appear to modulate yourself as some sort of imagined manifest form, whatever form it is, to experience. You have to appear as what you're not to experience what you are.
Mm.
So there's
So
all these perspectives of yourself. You can just like the dream at night, where last night you dreamt all of these characters in a world, and in the dream it appeared that all of the characters had separate individual minds, separate, they were separate entities. But then when you woke up, you're like, oh my God, that was my consciousness projecting that they had separate minds. But in fact, it was just my individuated consciousness. It was one mind that was projecting or hallucinating the separate minds. So that's what's happening right now. Your pure consciousness dreaming this right now, dreaming that there's separate, characters and bodies and
world
forms, lives. Yeah.
and other creation, yeah.
And then according to each character that you're dreaming, they will say the same thing. They will say, yeah, I have my own separate life. And it's so cool because it appears that all of the characters are hallucinating their own, individual universe, where they're perceiving these different things, where if you look at it that way, it would be you as pure, infinite, immortal, formless consciousness appearing to yourself within yourself as these infinite perspectives, so that you're tasting yourself from these infinite perspectives. but that you disassociate from those other perspectives so that you could localize yourself, so that you could have a unique experience. Because how else could you? If you're experiencing all infinite perspectives at one time, there would be no experience. How cool is that? And that's
Yeah.
all imagination. That's all abstraction. That's all make believe. Like none of it's happening.
Mm. Yeah, I'm just thinking about like the limitations, or like not the limitations, but like I mean an infinite number of minds like experiencing like an infinite number of things. I know that like with saints and masters, they can project multiple bodies, they can be, in like thousands of bodies arguably at once, and you can dream an
Mm-hmm.
entire world in existence and stuff. So it's just like from my unique perspective, I'm used, because I've seen like the way that, it appears. It's like there's
Mm-hmm.
not even an outside. There's not even a street out there at all right now until I go look at it. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
how do both of those things, like where like a master can be in multiple bodies, multiple places, kind of things at once, project multiple headsets, you see what I'm saying, in multiple different locations,
Yeah.
that, and then like the
Yeah.
one major one, and then how you are that, how's that all?
Yeah, because you're God dreaming this. So when you wake up to yourself, when you recognize that, you can dream anything. You can, which is what the Bible was saying. You can walk on water. You can have all these siddhis, these superpowers, and you can,
Because
um,
technically you're, like projecting every being already. You know what I mean?
yeah, you see clearly. So that's what I was saying. There's no levels to consciousness because consciousness is infinite and is not aware of anything but itself. But when you're looking through a unique perspective of yourself and waking up to yourself as consciousness, you see how limitless you are. And the more doubtless you are, the more convicted you are of that and certain, the more magic you can appear to experience and, dream, because all of that is, you can do anything. You're God dreaming this. So then in the dream, you get to experience yourself as God in the dream. Even though you're not in the dream, you're the one dreaming, but you get to experience yourself as God, as limitless potential. So all of those, you have all of those. You are the empty potential. You can appear as anything. You have anything's possible. If you believe there's a limit, that's not possible, then you'll dream that. Yeah, right when I recognized this, I did activate siddhis instantly, and I was invincible, and I had no body. There was no form. There's no one has a body. There is no body. And just like the dream at night where you're flying or doing whatever, this is the same. This is a dream. You're God dreaming this. You're not in the dream. You have no form. You're the infinite mind projecting it. So this is your playground, your way of experiencing yourself. And so you dream all of those characters, like the gurus with the siddhis, to remind you of that you're God dreaming this, and you're immortal, you're infinite. And wake up and have fun, is what it's saying. It's like, and it's not a doing, it's just a relaxing. So the more you bask in your silence without a thought, the more you're just focusing on your pure being, your pure consciousness, the more you unravel and unfurl into yourself as what you already are. And the less real this looks. Like this doesn't even look real anymore. Like this looks, you know, like a dream. It's not does not look like solid physical objects or things, you know. It's all
Not at
infinite
all.
empty potential. Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, even right now, look at even the memory of eating breakfast this morning. It's such a dream, you know. It didn't even happen. You can't even
Mm.
there's no past, there's no future. There's just timelessly now. And so like the so with the awakening, you know, your consciousness recognizes itself. You went from identifying as something, as the finite character in the dream, as something, to oh my god, I'm no thing. You know, like you first have that recognition, and then that tantric quality of oh my god, I'm everything. This is all my body, like the whole totality, the whole universe, you know, is myself appearing manifest to myself, within myself. So you are all of the dream characters, you know, and then your imagination abstracts that the dream characters that you're appearing as are experiencing, you know, different lives, but that's not even happening. No one's experiencing a different life, you know. There's just like the dream at night when you wake up from the dream and you realize it was all consciousness projecting it. You know, it's just all, there's no one in the dream. There are no characters in the dream. You're not even experiencing anything but experiencing. Yeah, and the more clear you see, the more clear you dream. You know what I mean? Like what I was saying earlier with Joel saying to the people in the room, some of you will see me when you have when you're identifying as being the character that you're dreaming, you'll see me aging and dying and being buried. But the people on the frequency of clear seeing that know that their consciousness will see me still alive.
Would you say that that's like individualistic timeline selection in the way that we're all individually kind of like dreaming the world kind of thing?
It's yeah, it's like yeah, it's like your one infinite consciousness appearing to yourself within yourself as infinite potential, empty potential. So any just like in between two thoughts, nothing's ever happened. And then if you pay it and then you have one thought, it's like the Big Bang where you've created a new universe. So you're you can constantly experience a new universe of yourself at any moment. And so when you, the
Like
way
I know that like certain enlightened masters like Maha Avatar Babaji and like Padme Baba, like they were able to completely manifest like cities at will, you know.
hmm
Like yeah, like Samye, the place where Padme Baba founded Tibetan Buddhism, like he manifested that whole place just. And if you read autobiography of a yogi, like
hmm
you know, same thing. And it's so simple. Like once you kind of realize that it's all just like appearances, you know what I mean? It's all
yeah,
just your appearance, appearance. I mean, that's like this couch isn't even a couch. It's just me. Like, you know.
yeah,
Um, so I don't know, there's something that I wanted to talk about with like the appearances and then getting behind them or something. I'm not sure. But essentially like my practices are they're just dissolving into themselves. Great bliss is ever present and it's just eating itself.
yay,
There's nothing left to do. So I'm just kind of really,
yeah,
you know, and so
yeah.
uh,
That's amazing.
yeah, it's clear, so it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just resting. It's just real. It's so
You don't have
effortless.
to do anything for the best thing ever, like literally,
Yeah.
like the love of God in
What a relief.
is,
Damn. That's the joke of seeking because seeking creates more seeking. So
yeah.
seeking is how you hide from yourself. When you stop looking is when you realize you're already that, what you've been looking for. So what you're looking for is pure awareness, and awareness is what's looking. So that's the joke.
Mm. It's like attachment or aversion. It's kind of like if you're longing for something or if you have something you don't want, you don't see what you already are, which is,
Yeah.
you know, literally everything that you've ever wanted.
Yeah, you hide from yourself by resisting. And resisting is just a thought that says I'm separate from experience, and so that's the opportunity to wake up when you dissolve that thought within yourself by being aware of it without resistance. It comes home and it doesn't come up anymore. It's just a thought. So seeking is just a thought. And the individual is just a thought, the separate self is just a thought, because without a thought, home sweet home, too obvious. So a good way to distract yourself from yourself is to keep thinking. Which thoughts aren't bad. I'm just saying that, once you see through them and see what they are, that you are appearing as thoughts to experience yourself. You're the source of thought. You're the pure consciousness from which they appear and disappear. But when you're distracted with them, you're not seeing clearly, you know?
No, that's why I think that clarity is tremendous. It's like whenever you can actually see that supreme bliss, like literally unsurpassed,
Mm-hmm.
like you can't get any better is already here. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's yeah. So very blessed to have that. Hmm.
Yay, Grace. Oh, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I was wondering if I want to say it or not. So when you say it's just about thought, like, but many times you are not really, like, I'm not really aware of the thought. So the belief system is running underneath, but it looks like I have to see the thought, I have to name it before I can transcend it, like, which is also something, it feels like it's a work. Like I have to find the thought before I can see through it. Like if there is belief system, let's say, of unworthiness, how would I break through something if I'm not recognizing it first?
Yeah, like when you're like the analogy of the movie screen, when you're identifying as the character in the movie, then the thoughts are all real and they're separate from you and they're happening to you and you're identifying with them with the limitation that they're presenting or that they're implying. And then you're unconscious. You're swept away with it. You're lost in the dream. And so then you're going in a downward spiral because then that negative thought comes up and you resist it, and then all of these negative thoughts come up and then you're identifying with it, and then it's like you keep lowering frequency by feeding it with your awareness, by identifying it, because you're the power of awareness. The thought can't appear to exist without you being aware of it. You're the source of it, but when you forget that, when you forget what you are, you'll keep feeding those negative thoughts, and then they'll just keep knocking you down, and it just keeps because one thought can't work itself out with another thought. It's the cessation of thoughts that works it out. So I was very vigilant when those thoughts would come up, and I would, right when there'd be this feeling of dread or resistance or whatever, I would pay attention. I'd be like, oh, there was a limited thought that came up, and so then I would, right in that moment, be aware of it without thought. So complete non-resistance, just pure presence, just purely being what I already am. And then I would see myself again. I would turn around and look at myself again. And then I'd see what the thought really is. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so that is not always, sometimes that appears to happen, when it appears gradual. Sometimes it can appear instant, where you have an awakening and all of those, kind of like deleting a hard drive off the computer. You can't even compute limited thoughts or fears or negative shit. It's just gone. So that can happen instantly too, or it can appear gradual. You know, when you're being stubborn, not look, you know, when you're still resisting hardcore, stuff can come up to test you, to wake you up, you know, because it's all you appearing to yourself to wake yourself up. So you're appearing as those thoughts to shake you out, you know. It's all the gift. It's all a gift.
So I mean, when you can't even tell what is the thought, there is something that feels off. But just looking at the offness, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. If there's any kind of cringe feeling or sensation or any kind of lower frequency vibration happening, just feel it fully without thought. Just be aware of it without thought and then watch it dissolve. You can even do that, play an experiment with yourself and try to keep it there. And it dissolves. You can't keep it there because it's ephemeral. It's not really there. It doesn't really exist. You swallow it with your awareness. Awareness dissolves everything. It creates everything and it destroys everything. So seeing clearly, you know, you see everything for what it is, and then there's no more scary thoughts. Then you don't imagine a boogeyman, you know, because you see clearly that just like when you were little and you imagined a boogeyman, it was what made you not scared of it anymore was when you realized it was your imagination, you know? And
it's
if
really
it's your,
interesting because I'm feeling like this resistance to even I didn't want to speak today, and I felt like somehow when you told me Grace, and I said like, oh, the last thing I wanted to do is to appear anymore on YouTube videos on when like non-dual teachings. Like I feel like really I maximized it, and I feel like somehow enough is enough. Like no more questions or showing up with this. I feel like something in me is fed up with this seeking or whatever is it.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, let's make love to it right now. That feeling right now, just make love to it. Be one with it. Be one. Oh my gosh, it tastes so good. Even that resistance. Oh my God, come here, come over here. This is total ecstasy. Oh my God, if you're one with the resistance, it's game over. Whatever you're resisting, wish for it. Wish for more of it. Make love to
this
it
feels
like
like
your lover.
going again. It feels like a bit crazy, like going against myself. I mean myself, which means that this is more confusing because it feels what about what I like and what I don't like, my preferences. It's getting me more confused. Like if I prefer something, I wouldn't really take it seriously. I will wish for what I don't prefer, what I don't like.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have an aversion or resistance to something, you'll attract it to face it.
I mean, it looks like this is for now what's happening is the aversion is way more intense energy than really recognizing what I like or really going for it. So maybe that's what needs to be met. I don't know. Is this what you are saying? It's like because the aversion, the
Hmm.
resistance.
Yeah, whatever you're resisting, wish for it. Make love to it like your lover. Welcome it home. Welcome. Come here. Come here. And then when you see that it's you, when you're one with it, this is the tantric quality of it. When you're one with it, there is no separation. There is no subject object. You're literally everything and you're in love, like being in love. That's how you feel. So every thought is like ecstasy, every feeling. Sitting in a chair is like the most amazing experience. You know, it's like, oh my God. You know your formless self. This is all your limitless, infinite self that's invisible. You know, everything you see is invisible. Your invisible, formless, infinite self. It's not separate. There is not two. You know? By pushing it away, you're saying it's two. It's two. Get out of here. You know, and it's screaming, "No! Wake up. This is not two." That's why what you resist persists, because it'll wake you, it'll keep coming up until you bring it home. You gotta, till you recognize you are it. And then you realize, wow, there's not two. I'm everything. That's why what you're resisting is what you're longing for, because you're hiding in what you're resisting. You're playing hide and seek, peekaboo, with yourself. And so when you dive deeply into what you're resisting, you feel it fully. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's the most amazing gift. And you can even cry happy tears because you're like, oh my God, I was hiding from myself in that. I am that. I am that appearing. It's all me. There's no separation. So the only way to
Wow,
hide from, yeah.
it feels like this resistance, it comes, I mean, I don't know, it's my story. In my story, it feels it comes in as a hatred energy, like
Mm-hmm.
hate. It's like, like I'm not,
Make love to that. Okay, the tantric way of doing that is see yourself in the hatred. Be one with the hatred. Allow the hatred. Wish for more of it. Make love to it. Oh my God, I love this hatred. And then it'll dissolve within you, and then it becomes ecstasy. So then when you're pissed off, you feel ecstasy. When there's anger, you feel ecstasy, because there's no separation. So awareness is only aware of itself. It never experiences anything else but itself. It never experiences anything finite, anything objective. So it says yes to everything. So that's when you say yes to everything, so say anger comes up and you're resisting it and you're like, oh, that's a sin. That's bad for me to feel angry.
yeah,
That's the suffering, because what you're saying is I am separate from experience. But when you say yes to the anger, you're saying, oh my God, this is sexy. Give me more of that. Then it's home sweet
like what about
home.
like even like the stories of people shaming me for expressing anger, or like this is all
Yeah.
my dream, and for me saying even yes, oh, I was shamed, like something like I don't know, it's
That's
like
it. That's the scam of separation, is because when you thought you were a separate self, an entity, you dreamed characters preaching the Bible and saying it's a sin for you to do this and that, and you need to behave this certain way. That's all your own scamming yourself. You know, it's your hallucination to wake up from. So then when you realize what you are, everything's allowed. There is no separation. So when I recognized this, the first time I got annoyed, there was ecstasy. It felt so good to be annoyed. When there was a sensation of pain, it felt like ecstasy. There was nothing resisting it. There was nothing avoiding it, because there was no separation. There's just fucking total unicity. So I love getting pissed off. I love all of it. It feels amazing.
yeah, so even like the feeling, oh, like I love feeling shame. I know like something in me, there is censorship here saying, oh, this is dangerous information to put on public, like encouraging us or encouraging people to feel these bad feelings, which means like Janie is teaching people to do bad stuff, like, or even, it's just like layers and layers of censorship. Like, okay, like go and like make love with your anger and like shame, and like so she is creating oh, you know,
No, that's tantra. That's being one with everything. That's
yeah,
right.
I get you, Janie. I get you on some level, but
Well, let
something
me
in me
ask you,
feels like
Grace.
we have to
Yeah.
explain this if this is gonna be to the public. So what
No,
is
there
this?
is no public. There is no world out there. That's a hallucination. That's an imagined abstraction. Where is it? Where's the world? Show me. Show me a world right now. There is no world. There are no separate people. There is no right or wrong. There is nothing to have to do. There's just pure infinite being that's absolutely in love, making love to itself through every thought, sensation, feeling, sound, appearance. And it's all a beautiful hallucination. So the word illusion means it's not what it appears to be, but it is real. It's yourself as the real, as the awareness that's modulating itself, the invisible, formless self that's modulating itself as the idea of a world. Just like Sri Ramana said, Brahman is real, the world is an illusion, Brahman is the world. It's all Brahman. It's all your invisible, formless, infinite self making love. And the shame that came about, what is that without a thought?
I think the thought that keeps torturing me is the belief in others
Where are
or
the others?
otherness, or
Okay,
even this is the separation.
well, let's go into it right now. Close your eyes, and I'm going to ask you to answer without a thought and without an image, without a memory. What are others? What is your experience, your actual experience of others without a thought right now? What are the others made of? Without a thought, without memory. There's just pure consciousness. There's just yourself. You're empty, open, aware, empty potential, substratum, clean slate, empty screen, alone with itself. That's all there is. There are no others. You're just freaking having fun with imaginary friends. It's your imagination. And that's freedom. There are no others.
I'm just going blank. I keep going blank. I don't even know if I'm doing this right.
That's it. There's no thing. So the analogy of a newborn baby, let's right now be a newborn baby with your eyes closed. You've never had an experience. So you don't have the activity of thinking yet. So you haven't labeled anything. And all there is just pure consciousness, pure experiencing, pure awareness. So without thought, there's no time. Without thought, there's no label of what this is. There's no distinguishing. There's no objects.
Yeah, it's clear that there is nothing, and then suddenly it starts like the telling of what is this, like the judgment, like the telling, the storytelling.
Yeah, but once you've directly experienced what you are as pure consciousness, then all of that activity of thinking is yourself as pure consciousness, alone with itself, just appearing, modulating as the activity of thinking to
So I'm just
create.
having, I'm just making love with this. activity of thinking, and I don't know how to switch to another channel of thinking differently.
That's just a thought. That's a limited belief, because what is it without that thought? It's empty potential. It can be anything. So you can switch to anything. Any limited thoughts are not true. They're not real. They have no power. You're the power of awareness giving rise to it. So you would, if you're giving away your power to it and then dreaming that, you're free to give it power or not, You don't have to project any limitation. You're limitless.
Yeah, it feels like why I'm even doing that.
You're free to do whatever you want. I mean, how cool is it that you're God, you know? Look what you're rendering right now. How amazing, how powerful are you? Look at this right now. Look what you're appearing to manifest in your imagination. This is amazing. That room would not appear without you being aware of it. That's how powerful you are.
All this show is for myself.
Yeah.
That love we seek is what we are effortlessly.
Yeah.
Have to do anything for it, like at all. So that's I mean, if you can just kind of stay there, just you already know it. So
Mm-hmm. And you have the choice whether to feed whatever you want. Like if there's a negative thought, you have the choice whether to feed it your power or not. If you want to
Wow.
believe in the boogeyman, you can.
I think having a strong mind is good. If you're, haven't been fully established in your awareness yet, to kind of help you get there. You know what I mean? It kind of helped me because it's like with other people, they can kind of jostle you, their
Mhm.
preferences, etc. And so they can kind of distract you until you have that level of clarity. Because then,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah,
It
I
feels
know.
like, yeah, it feels like something holding this ground. Like I had this glimpses many times, but it feels like something doesn't hold it. Uh, um,
deeper rest and recognition into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why the dreamt character in the Sargadatta kept saying the more vigilant you are, the more earnest you are, the more you will see yourself. So I was like a samurai with those thoughts. I was hardcore. I wasn't going to let the mind, I wasn't going to be the mind's bitch, I wasn't going to let all of it, I wasn't going to believe any more of its lies. And so, the more I witnessed, the more that I transmuted, the more that I dissolved everything within myself, the more clearly I saw. And so I meditated like 3 hours a day for 6 years. And I'm not saying that there's time and there's anything to attain or anything to do, but I'm saying that the more you're basking, resting, relaxing in yourself, the more clearly you see, which can be instant. You can fucking see yourself so fucking clearly that it instantly deletes the stupid hard drive off the fucking computer that says otherwise. And you can't even compute, or I even tried to have a negative thought, or I tried to have a fear or the limitation, and I couldn't. So it can happen instantly, and then or it can appear gradually. It just don't cast any fucking scam onto yourself, because you will superimpose that, you know? This is immediately now. Done. It's done right now. There's no 6 years to fucking meditate. That's all a scam. That was because I wasn't clearly seeing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no time. That's the thing that's
There's
kind of,
no. Yeah.
it's just like a solid block of awareness through which time, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that was huge when I saw that there was no time. It was like, oh my God. The more clearly I saw there was no time, the more I was like, oh my God, if there's no time, there can be no process or no path. There can literally be nothing to do.
Mhm.
So can you tell me more about, like, even now here, like when you were saying about the resistance, like even if there is resistance to hear this,
To hearing this right now?
yeah, to hearing what you are sharing, like to really receive that, or like this resistance even to awakening. When you said like, give
Yeah.
me more of that, like give me more of
Okay.
that. So
Okay, so there's an addiction to suffering. So make love to that. Wish for more of that. Give me more suffering.
okay, that's
Give me more resisting. Because
okay.
this is like the BDSM of it, you know? It's like, let me tie myself up and beat myself because I love it. Addiction to bondage.
Yeah,
So that would be resisting the addiction to bondage. It would be something in there saying that's wrong.
yeah.
When awareness says yes to everything. So nothing's wrong with BDSM.
You
Just
know how to
yeah.
speak my language now.
Yeah,
Like,
make love to torturing yourself. And then what's hilarious with that is that then even that opens up to, oh my God, that's ecstasy. And then it's
okay,
like, there's nothing to resist. If you make love to everything you're resisting, then what the fuck is there to resist?
I think what you just they said just got me. Yeah. So no wonder why we have those secret fantasies deep down. Maybe our consciousness is trying to tell us something, like like I am the one beating myself up and just having all this drama,
Mm-hmm.
and just pretending that I don't want it. Or
Yeah,
even
allow
even if I
everything.
like
Allow
even if
it.
I say I want it, I will be beating myself up for wanting it. So it's confusing. Like, even like, okay, now there
Mm-hmm.
is more confusion to feel dramatic about.
Yeah, whenever there's that sensation of fear, dread, or cringe, or whatever this the lower frequency sensation, it's always something that's being resisted, and you can pinpoint it right away. You know. So there, I had someone come to me that where she was telling me this story, and there was like this hardcore something hidden in there that she was resisting, and she couldn't figure it out. And I figured out it was she was resisting hating her mother, and it was like make love to hating your mother. Be one with hating your mother. Be one with it.
Okay, wow.
And then all of that resistance dissolves. Poof, gone. You're everything. Your appearing is everything. When you resist something, you're pushing it and saying, "No, you're separate. Get away from me."
Exactly. Wow. Wow, Jamie. It's like all this morality criteria here, and the rules about how should I feel or what should I do. This is not spiritual enough. Like, I'm not supposed to show up like this in the world. It's so ingrained program in me. Like, I carry from religion or whatever. Even what is religion?
Yeah. Yeah. You're the unconditioned awareness. And then those conditioned, limited thoughts are appearing within you. And then if you resist them or attach to them or identify with them, that's when you're appearing to, you know, divide your indivisible self, which you never divide yourself. You're even appearing as the resistance and the division and all of the parts, but because you can't be fragmented or, but
In
it's,
this sense, we even, sorry, even the consciousness will make up religion to
yeah.
imprison itself, or
Yeah, as another scam to hide and seek. Yeah, all religion is just another scam to play hide and seek with yourself, to shame things, to resist things, to say this is good, this is bad, this is separate, this is an object. All of it's a scam.
and now there are spiritual schools, spiritual communities. Um, it's all layers and layers of what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah, it's just concepts to get distracted with because your pure awareness that's prior to a concept, prior to a thought, like in deep sleep, where you're all alone by yourself, you're not having a thought, so you're not experiencing, you're not dreaming. So then you outwardly extrovert yourself and focus and like
I still
appear.
feel, sorry, I have to interrupt. Sorry,
It's okay.
sorry. It feels like something on some level. It feels still here that there is all this conversation happening is a performance for some audience out there. Like there is still something in this mind that feels like there is some observers out there, and we are doing this show, this conversation, and somebody is gonna witness and even benefit from this conversation on some level. What is this? Like I'm just
Okay, so
exposing this
okay, so
basically.
close your
Okay.
eyes. Close your eyes and ask what is this without a thought? What are those other people witnessing without a thought? Because that would just be the
Those other people
imagination
are the
abstracting.
thoughts. Actually, they are the thoughts.
Yeah, it's just a thought. It's just the imagination abstracting that because without a thought, there are no people out there. Where are people out there? Show me right now with your actual experience right now without thought. That would just be an imagined abstraction. Kind of like a child when you're little playing with imaginary friends, like imagining things. You're not, there's no real world out there of people.
Wow, it feels like it was a glimpse of joy, and I felt like, wow, this is the
Yeah,
dream of otherness. Wow.
that's it.
Like, I remember a poetry I wrote like
Mhm.
years and years ago that like this it's called others, and then I ended by saying I even like I kept imagining this others, and I am like I became another, like I am another, like
Mhm.
this character is another, like it's
Yeah.
another. And you said something earlier that this becomes like the reference point. Like if
Mhm.
I believe this exists, this character exists, everybody else will exist.
Yeah. Yeah. You need a reference point to back up that. And you need a reference point of what it's not, too, because you can only know something in reference to what it's not. So you only know things through negation of what it's not. So if you believe there's awakening, then you will dream unawakened. If you believe you're seeking, then you will dream a guru. If you believe you're a guru, you will dream seekers. All of it is equally a scam, a dream. There are no seekers. There are no people out there suffering. That's why whatever you believe, you dream. It's make believe. So when you fully awaken, there is literally no one else to wake up from the dream. Just like at the dream at night. Imagine going back in your dream last night and trying to wake up the dream characters in the dream. Who are you waking up?
Wow, wait, wow, oh my God, wow. Whew.
Already free. Infinitely free. I mean, freedom's literal. There's literally nothing to do. There's no world to change. There's nothing to fix or correct, or there's no one else to convince. How amazing is that? If there's someone to convince, you're just trying to convince yourself. If there's someone else to wake up, then you're trying to wake yourself up. It's total perfection.
And now the dreams, it felt like somehow I could now even see how this mind is now trying to find new topics to emphasize the story of oppression or suppression or whatever. Now the mind is like getting attracted to watching some news about politics, what's happening in US versus
Mhm.
what was happening first before
Oh,
in
yeah.
Syria, and now something is gonna happen in the world, like, and the hierarchy, and they're gonna come get us, and like,
And that's an illusion. That's a total scam. So, with your power of awareness that's empty potential, unqualified, like in deep sleep, you're just no thing. You're empty potential. You can be anything. By giving your power to that idea, by paying attention to that idea, you dream it. So then you'll dream a war. You'll dream a scare, a scam. You'll dream a fucked up world of people suffering. And so don't feed your power to that. It's a total illusion. There is no government. There is no real politics. Don't feed it your power. Only pay attention to what you want. Pay attention to freedom. Pay attention to heaven. Pay attention to being God, being pure awareness. And then you'll only see heaven. And then you don't see a government. You don't see a fucked up world. You just see happiness. I only see happiness. I only see happy characters. I only see happy everything. There's nothing suffering. There's no one diseased or fucked up or dying, or everything's immaculate.
The Navajos say something similar with skinwalkers. You're not supposed to even mention them because it's something negative, and just by putting that in your mind, since you're dreaming everything,
Mm-hmm.
it's basically just, anything negative, like it just steer away from that essentially. I
Yeah.
manifested so much of that, with timelines and worlds, like by thinking like, new world order and all this crazy shit. I mean, your mind is literally creating the world,
Yeah.
like literally. So be mindful of what you believe, because you can go down some negative things with that.
Yeah. Exactly. And what you resist persists. Like when I was at my visiting in the dream my dad's condo. He lives in downtown Atlanta in a skyscraper. So I was way up on the balcony, and I heard like loud screaming and shit outside. So I walked outside and there was a protest, and I was cracking up laughing because that is a symbol of what you resist persists. So the people protesting were praying for more of what they don't want. They're like, they're just like, they're resisting it, they're hating it, so then
Mhm.
they're creating more of it. And then you drive on the highway and you see a billboard that says stop child trafficking. What that billboard says is start child trafficking. It means create more of that.
It's like
It's
Byron
all a
Katie's.
scam.
Yeah,
Huh?
the first act of war is an act of defense. And the Tao says the exact same thing,
Yeah.
because it's like, you're reacting to a false idea that's creating it essentially.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Don't give your power to it and you won't create it.
okay, this makes me think I just said yes to playing music, live music in a circus for raising fundraising for Gaza. So I've never been involved. So I know hearing you say this, I feel, oh my God, like am I
That's
saying,
hilarious.
yeah, you see, it's just it's very quick where the mind will say, oh, like
Oh,
I'm
no. Well, if you see through it, if you're not resisting it and you see that it's all a imagined scam, that it's not really happening, there is no. I don't even know what Gaza is. I don't know what that is, but if you're if you think that there's
it's a city in Palestine, that's the one that's being bombed.
yeah, that doesn't exist in my world, so I have no clue what that is. But if you think that there's
Watch what you
that's
are
a
saying.
thing,
I mean, again, oh my God, look at this mind. What you just said.
if you feed it by resisting it and being passionate about it, and then you're playing the music and you're saying, "Oh my God, there's a real thing that's really getting harmed and all of this shit is causing suffering," then you'll keep dreaming, you'll keep projecting it. But if you see through it and you're like, "Oh, there isn't that. That's just my
Mm.
imagination," then you can go have fun and play the music anyway. It doesn't matter what it's for, whatever. It's not real. It's just
Yeah, and that's
your
what
God.
exactly is happening.
Yeah.
I'm only, it's only something alarming feels here whenever you mention this tricky topics, and then you're gonna go and publish this online. This, just seeing this.
There's no fear. There's nothing to be scared of. There's no boogeyman out there. There's nothing that can harm you. It's all your consciousness, which is God. And so all there is God. It's harmless. If you're on that frequency, then you will see war. If you're not on that frequency, you only see bliss. And even if there's a war appearing, just like in the Bhagavad Gita, where the guy that was enlightened, there appeared to be a war that he was fighting in. He was enlightened and he could see through it that there wasn't really a war, there wasn't really people that he was murdering, but it was just appearing as the dream, but he could see through it. So you see
Yeah,
through
yeah,
the illusion.
yeah,
No one is suffering. All there is God, dreamingness, God, pure consciousness, formless, infinite, immortal. No one can die. Just like the dream at night. Imagine dreaming that there was a war and all these people were getting killed.
How?
What happened when you woke up from the dream? You realized it was just a dream. It was just a projection of your consciousness. No one was in the dream. There was no separate characters. There was no separate bodies. There was no one dying, no one getting killed. You know, that's what this is. This is consciousness right
As
now.
unreal as unreal can get.
Yeah. This is not illusion means it's not what it appears to be.
Mhm.
But what it truly is real, which is you are the only substance. You are the infinite mind from which it's appearing. That's real. But what it's appearing to be is not real.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Like most people, like the level of reality and believing like in the body and the world and the suffering and it's like the understanding that it's genuinely not real at all. That's
Yeah.
that's what and I was like, can you like something about like how could you articulate that level of unreality? I mean, it's as real as a dream. You know what I mean? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
as real as, it's hard to describe, but that's what I'm asking you.
Yeah. And the more you rest and bask in your silent, immortal being, the presence that you feel, I am, this beingness, without thought, the more you're basking and resting and relaxing, the more clearly you see. So then you see through the illusion. You can see that it's just a dream and you're God playing with yourself as this beautiful imagination. And you can imagine anything and you can dream anything and nothing dies, nothing's being harmed. If there is something that appears to die, it's just your being that's eternal, um, appearing as an object within yourself that appears to fall away. But then you always remain, just like when you're witnessing thoughts. You're the pure awareness, the eternal, unchanging screen from which it's appearing and disappearing. You always remain. Just like that felt sense, I is the same I that you were referring to when the character was 5, when it was 20, when it was 40. And, that's why you feel ageless and you feel like, you know, That's the unchanging essence that you are, the beingness, the consciousness that never dies, never goes away. So no one dies. Yay. I love you guys.
That's very like direct. Like I know something here is cracking and like this, but I there is so much gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you. Big hugs. Yay. It's a
Uh,
celebration.
wow.
It's total freedom. Yeah, you're always free, always like a clean slate. I mean, that conversation didn't even happen. Where is it? You've never had a thought. Nothing's ever happened to you. I mean, so timeless. Oh, love you guys. Mwah. Talk soon, okay?
Thank you.
Bye.